Hare Krishna. Today we will be broadcasting from the University of San Diego, which is a beautiful Catholic school in San Diego. Today is today the students are all moving in, so I hope they don't make a lot of noise. We're going to try to make them understand that it would be inappropriate for them just to, do anything except listen to this class. So, we'll begin. Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Again, if you hear some of that noise, I didn't realize when I came here that those are the students moving into the University of San Diego for the new semester. So we have some very interesting verses today in the Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 3, beginning text 8. This is the list of incarnations. We did a couple before, I think 2 weeks ago, before Janmashtami and Vyas Puja. And these avatars, these incarnations are interesting because each one exemplifies a whole aspect, an entire aspect of what Krishna does in this world, an entire aspect of Vedic culture. So I'll try to explain that. Again, sorry for all the noise, but I didn't realize it's moving in day at the University of San Diego. Okay, so first canto, text, chapter 3, text 8 is Tritiyam, which means the third incarnation. Tritiyam Rishi Sargam Vai Devarshi Twamupetya Saha Tantrang Satvatam Achasta Naishkarmyam Karmanang Jataha. So this is describing Narada Muni, and it's called Rishi Sargam, the sage era, or the sage creation, in a sense, Krishna, by empowering, in that sense, incarnating as through empowerment, different personalities, he is actually creating dimensions of the universe. So in a sense, the word here is Rishi Sargam, which Prabhupada translates the millennium of the rishis, literally the rishi creation, which I think is very interesting. The word sarga in Sanskrit means creation, or primary creation, secondary creation. So that's kind of the main way it's used as creation. So and then the Sanskrit is very interesting here for those of you who can tolerate it. Devarshi Twam. Devarshi, of course, means Deva Rishi, the sage of the gods, or a god or a divine sage. Devarshi, Narada. But here it has a suffix Devarshi Twam, Upetya Saha, that the Lord taking on the status of Devarshi, or the position of Devarshi, or the state of. So, and then what did Narada do? Tantram Satvatam Achashta. He taught a Satvata, which means Vaishnava, Tantra. Now, if you know anything at all about Indian history or Hinduism, Tantra, there's an evil Tantra. There's a Tantra which consists of, they actually called it the Panchamakaras. And this is much later. The Bhagavatam is talking about something very different and much earlier. But the later Tantra, the Panchamakaras, in Sanskrit, Makara means the letter M. Ma is the letter M. And so Makara means the letter M. And so the 5 M's. So what were the 5 M's? They were things like Maitunya, sex, and I don't want to, let's say parental guidance recommended here. But these tantric people, they were like sort of like medieval Indian hippies, in the sense that they believed that you achieve freedom by breaking all the rules. That if the goal is freedom, then every rule is against freedom, which is, of course, idiotic. Since, for example, if you're driving your car and you follow the traffic rules, you'll actually arrive alive and you won't kill yourself or other people on the road. And killing yourself or other people is not really a great example of freedom. But this idea, this sort of hippie or this foolish idea that freedom always comes by breaking rules. And so they would engage in incest. And then Ma also stood for Mangsa. They would eat meat. And Madira, they would drink liquor, and so on. I think about what the other five are. So, the other two. So that's not the Tantra we're talking about. And the people who practice Tantra, of course, were called Tantrikas. This is a much earlier Tantra, which is a Vaishnava Tantra, and I'll explain what it is. First of all, the word Tantra comes from the Sanskrit verb tan, which means to expand or to extend. So we find this word used in the past tense in the first Bhagavatam verse in the phrase Tene Brahma Hrida. The Lord expanded or extended Vedic knowledge unto Brahma. So that's the word tan. So Tantra means that which extends or expands. And so it's a body of literature which expands or extends or elaborates upon the Vedas. As we know from Brahma Samhita, Vedeshu Durlabham. It is hard to find Krishna in the Vedas. If you read the Rig Veda and the Yajur Veda and you're looking for Krishna, good luck. And you'll find something about Vishnu, even some very significant statements about Vishnu, but you won't find Krishna. And Krishna talks about this, of course, in the Bhagavad Gita, when he's saying how Veda Vadarata Partha Nanya Astiti Varya, those who simply take pleasure in reciting the Vedas, they're generally materialistic and they want material rewards. Krishna also talks about this Karmakanda Vedas, chapter 9, when he says, Trividya Somapa Putapapa Swargatim Partayante, which means Trividya, those who study the three books of knowledge, Trividya. So those who study it are the Trividyas, and of course that refers to the Rig Veda, Samaveda, and Yajur Veda. Tarva Veda kind of has some voodoo in it, so a lot of times they don't mention it. But and then Krishna says, Swargatim Partayante. They aspire to reaching heaven, literally. They aspire to reach heaven. Swargatim Partayante. Te Punyama Sadhya Surrender Lokam. And so approaching Indra Loka, Surendra Loka, the planet of Indra, and enjoying there for some time, Shine Punye, when their piety is exhausted, when their credit card runs out, their punya credit card runs out. Chine punye swargatim, chine punye martya lokam vishanti. They come back to the mortal worlds. I mean, every planet in this universe is mortal, but death is so prominent in this world that it's called martya loka, and life is so short. So Krishna says, evam trayi, even trayi, what is that? Anuprapanna gatagati. Thus, having taken shelter of the Karmakanda Vedas, all they get is a round trip, gatagatam, going and coming. Evam trayi dharmam. That's what anuprapanna. They surrendered to, they resorted to, took shelter of the dharma, or the duties of the three Vedas, and they just go to heaven, come back, and achieve absolutely nothing. So, I mean, there are parts of the Vedas that are more serious philosophically, such as the Upanishads. But even the Upanishads, although the Upanishads are especially some of them, like you could say the Shvetashvatara, which actually literally means the white mule Upanishad. There's a lot of really funny things in Sanskrit. It's like better than Marvel comics. So it's so the Shvetashvatara Upanishad means the white mule Upanishad for some reason, and other Upanishads. So they're more philosophical, but still they're somewhat esoteric, and they kind of tell you, but don't exactly tell you, and it's not a clear, explicit Krishna consciousness. And therefore, the Brahma Samhita concludes, Vedeshu Durlabham. It's hard to find Krishna in the Vedas. Therefore, there's a need to expand the meaning. There's a need to clear all this up. And of course, this was done in two ways. And perhaps the most important way, it was cleared up by Vyasadeva by composing Srimad-Bhagavatam. And so that was one way to clear up all this esoteric cloud, you could say. And then the second way that it was all cleared up historically was through Narada Muni, teaching Tantra literature such as Narada Pancharatra. So when it says here, Tantrang Sattvatam, that he taught, oh my God, I'm outdoors, so you can see with my shades on. Oh well. Not the worst thing could happen, I suppose. So, so Narada Muni taught this Vaishnava Tantra, and it's in that Tantra that we find things like deity worship or the expansions of Krishna, such as the Chaturvyuha, Vasudeva, and Pradyumna, Sankarsana, Aniruddha. So this whole notion that the Lord expands in different plenary forms, the idea of a spiritual world, like really explaining much more in detail the spiritual world, deity worship, all these things which are really central to our Gaudiya Vaishnava culture, in fact, do not come technically from the Vedas. They come from the Tantra literature. And Narada Muni is the original acharya of that literature. Now, the Bhagavatam is a hybrid work. Jiva Goswami. Jiva Goswami wrote of course, the Shat Sandarbha, the 6 Sandarbhas, and among those, this Tattva Sandarbha, which means the knowledge Sandarbha. And it's really the most important work in our tradition about epistemology, like what are valid sources of knowledge? Under what conditions are you justified in saying that you know something? It's not merely your opinion or your feeling. And so Jiva Goswami also says that the most important source is the Bhagavatam. And so the Bhagavatam actually gives us both. The Bhagavatam gives us Vedic knowledge. For example, in the second canto, there's a chapter which Prabhupada calls Purusha Sukta Explained, because it's one of the, maybe chapter 8 or one of those around there. And the second canto is actually a running commentary on the Rig Veda, on the 10th book of the Rig Veda about the Purusha Sukta. So the Bhagavatam gives us lots of Vedic stuff. I mean, people are doing fire sacrifices all over the place in the Bhagavatam, and they're performing Upanishadic meditations and yoga practice. So there's a lot of Vedic stuff in the Bhagavatam. On the other hand, there's a lot of Tantra stuff. The different expansions of Krishna, the spiritual world is mentioned in third canto, Vaikuntha. It's just water. Don't believe the rumors. So, and deity worship is not described a lot, but there's reference to that. And for example, all those meditations on the Narayan form of the Lord, holding different objects, and that's all Tantra stuff. So the first incarnation, not the first, but I think the third incarnation mentioned here is Narada Muni, who introduced this whole dimension of knowledge, this whole world of knowledge. And it's important that the Bhagavatam says that you really need both. The Bhagavatam actually says that to understand things fully, you need, and it calls it Vaidika and Tantrika. Now, one interesting point is that the word Vedic is actually used in the Bhagavatam the way Western scholars use it, rather than the way that's used in ISKCON. So that Western scholars and the Bhagavatam actually use the word Vedika in Sanskrit, to mean specifically the Shruti literature. And Vedic is contrasted with Tantrika, which is this other body of literature, also necessary, also divine revealed literature necessary to understand Krishna. So we can use the word Vedic in the way we do. Prabhupada used it that way. But you may want to just be aware when you're out there trying to explain we do to people that scholars and the Bhagavatam actually use the word Vedic to mean the Shruti literature. So that is verse 8. And the last line of this verse is Naishkarmyam Karmanam Jataha, that through this Tantra literature, one achieves Naishkarmya through karma, because Naishkarmya, of course, just comes from the word Nishkarma, which means without karma. So by practicing no karma, you become free of karma. Or no, I'm sorry. It says that through karma, you get free of karma. And what that means is by action. The word karma, may I say a word about that, has various meanings. The root of the word karma is simply action. The word karma does not, in its most fundamental sense, mean material activities or the laws of karma. And to give an example how the word is used in a neutral sense to simply mean action, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Janma karma cha me divyam, evam joveti tatvata. One who understands in truth my divine birth and action. And he uses the word karma. So Krishna's activities are also karma in the root sense of action. It takes on a further meaning because most of the actions, almost all the actions we experience are material actions. We're in the material world. If you didn't notice, look around, you will see that you are definitely in the material world. Unless you're in a Hare Krishna temple, I guess, right now. Anyway, so this verse says that through karma, in other words, by acting in this world, one achieves freedom from karma. And that's the point Krishna emphasizes in the Gita, that you cannot reach a karma, which is the same as nish karma. You can't achieve that by giving up karma. Krishna explains that the common sense conclusion would be wrong. That, okay, I want to be free of karma, so don't do karma. And that's the whole point of the Gita. Krishna's saying, no, nice try, but I guess I can't say no cigar in the Bhagavatam class. But anyway, Krishna says, no, you can't just give up karma and become free of karma. The reason being that you can't really give up karma because you're active by nature. You are going to do something. Even if you try to give up karma, that's an action. It takes an exertion of will. You got to really hold on, and so even trying to give up karma is an action. And therefore, the real way to become free of karma is by offering it to Krishna, by offering your actions to Krishna. So this whole technique where you don't go off into the forest, as in the Upanishads, and just meditate or theologize, or you don't just stay in the towns and perform all kinds of elaborate rituals, as in the four Vedas, but you do something else. You do bhakti yoga, and you're active, but you become free of karma. So that's that verse. Then the next verse, 9, is Turye, which means in the fourth incarnation. Turye means the fourth. Turye Dharma Kala Sarge, in the creation of the expansion of Dharma. Naranarayana Rishi, the two sages, Naranarayana, Bhutva, appearing in this world, Atmopa Shamopetam, Akaro Duscharang Tapaha. They performed tapas, austerity, which is hard to do. They performed very difficult austerities, and these austerities entailed Atmopashama, which means calming the self. Calming the self, becoming free of all material agitation. Students are coming, watch out. They look nonviolent. So, because we're agitated in this world. That's the whole point. I mean, we're by so many things. There's sex desire for those who are of a certain age and over. There's hunger, there's thirst. We get angry sometimes. Uh-oh, bad news are stopping here. We have to send Krishna Gunna to remove them. Anyway, so there's so much agitation in this world. We become angry, we become disturbed, disappointed, excited about things, frustrated, sad. There's just all kinds of there's all kinds of frustration and disturbance. But Narayan showed how to become free from all this, and they practice celibacy. Oops. Oh well, I hope you can still hear me. I'll get a little closer here. And so Narayan taught, this may not be working. I'll tell you what, maybe I will move and we will go back on the air in just about 3 minutes. So if you can hang in there, don't go away, and I'll be right back.